Thank you so much for joining us for CBN NewsWatch. I'm Efrem Graham. Ahead today, the United States, Israel, and even Iran agreeing the American strikes devastated Iran's nuclear program, despite some U.S. media reports saying the attacks only had a limited impact. And the U.S. again warning Iran not to try to enrich uranium or build nuclear weapons. All of that as President Donald Trump comes to the defense of Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu amidst his trial on criminal charges, calling it, quote, a witch hunt. Here at home, it has been 3 years since the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade and sent the issue of abortion back to the states, but that decision has led to unexpected consequences. And it began with a vision from God with some miracles along the way. Now students who were failing in public schools are thriving in the Unlimited Dreams Learning Center. All those stories and more right now on CBN NewsWatch.
This is CBN NewsWatch.
It is Thursday, June 26th, going to begin this half hour in the Middle East, where Iran's foreign ministry spokesman says their nuclear facilities were, quote, badly damaged, unquote, by the American airstrikes over the weekend. That statement coming after reports in the United States news media saying the attacks only set back Iran's nuclear program by a few months. The Trump administration, including intelligence officials, making it clear the strikes obliterated their targets. CBN Middle East correspondent Julie Stahl brings us the story. She's reporting from Jerusalem.
Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth is blasting media outlets for playing up an early leaked report that suggested U.S. strikes on Iranian nuclear facilities did only limited damage.
The instinct of CNN, the instinct of the New York Times, is to try to find a way to spin it for their own political reasons, to try to hurt President Trump or our country. They don't care what the troops think. They don't care what the world thinks.
I just want to thank our pilots. You know, they were maligned and treated very bad, demeaned by fake news.
President Trump cited Israeli intelligence reports that the strike set back Iran's nuclear program for years.
We've collected additional intelligence. We've also spoken to people who have seen the site, and the site is obliterated. And we think everything nuclear is down there. They didn't take it out.
Wednesday, CIA Director John Ratcliffe and Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard released statements that intelligence indicates that the strikes did severe damage to the nuclear sites. Trump announced U.S. officials will meet with the Iranians next week, though he no longer believes a nuclear agreement is necessary. Trump's Special Mideast Envoy Steve Witkoff says Iran must give up any plans to ever again enrich uranium and weaponize it. He also announced the Abraham Accords will soon expand, with surprising nations expected to join and make peace with Israel.
We're hoping for normalization across an array of countries that maybe people would have never contemplated would come in.
Meanwhile, Trump is turning his sights from Iran to Israeli prosecutors who are trying Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, calling it a witch hunt. Trump posted that Netanyahu has fought harder than anyone to protect Israel, and he deserves much better than this, and so does the state of Israel. Bibi Netanyahu's trial should be canceled immediately. CBN News spoke with Israelis in Beersheba at the site of Tuesday's missile strike. Police spokesman Dean Elsden says Israelis are resilient.
We're not a scared nation, and the second thing I wanted to tell you is to thank you for your support and all your viewers' support.
Israeli Christian Arab Yosef Haddad thanked President Trump profusely for backing Israel and entering the war. And he had a message.
Finish the job. Eliminate the IRGC, free Iran, and bring security to the Israeli people, bring security and stability to the Middle East, and you will bring security to the United States.
Julie Stahl, CBN News, Jerusalem and Beersheba.
The debate about the success of the U.S. airstrikes has been a major topic of conversation the last few days in American and international circles. On this week's episode of The Global Lane, former Deputy National Security Advisor Victoria Coates explains why she agrees with President Trump's view that Iran's nuclear capabilities have been destroyed.
I'm more in the obliteration camp. I think that knowing what I know about the planning for this operation, which has been going on for more than a decade, and the ordnance that was dropped on these 3 sites, it's hard to see them coming out in any way intact. And it's important to realize that what was leaked, and it was leaked via a couple of reporters who were responsible for hits like the Hunter Biden laptop, the Steele dossier. These are the outlets that had received, and the individual reporters that had received those false pieces of information in the past. So this is clearly a playbook that's being followed here to leak an early assessment, that makes that judgment with, in intel speak, low confidence, which means they don't know. And so I think you have outlets like CNN, the New York Times, in a race to be wrong, because they'd rather be wrong and discredit the president than wait and report accurately that this was a successful strike.
Yeah, they don't want to give him any credit, or the pilots who actually did the mission. A recent report suggests that 900 pounds of Iranian uranium is missing, may have been moved or hidden elsewhere. Additionally, unverified reports are indicating that other countries might be assisting Iran in acquiring nuclear warheads or in rebuilding their program. And an Iranian government official has also stated that they're already constructing a new enrichment facility. So is this Iranian propaganda? What are your thoughts on these developments?
Well, it's certainly something to watch, but I think if Iran were foolhardy enough to build another enrichment facility, A, we would see it, and B, we could destroy it. And there's nothing they could do about it. They are utterly exposed at this point. They have no air defenses. They have no air force to speak of. And so, if they've spent $2 trillion over the last 20 years on their nuclear program, if they're going to spend another $2 trillion over the next 20 years to reconstitute it, I'm okay with that timeline. But I also think we can set it back whenever the president would choose to do so.
In your opinion, what's the likelihood of regime change? We're not seeing anti-Ayatollah activists and protesters in the streets of Tehran right now.
Well, if it does happen, it's going to happen outside Tehran. You'll start to see it in more provincial towns, and it'll be interesting to watch. The president has been clear that the mission of the United States in this case is not regime change. It was to obliterate the Iranian nuclear program, and that's what he stayed very focused on. And in an effort not to get involved in another prolonged, open-ended conflict like the ones we've seen previously in the Middle East, he wants to wind this up now. This is it. We did what we said we were going to do. Now we're going to move on. Now, that said, the Iranians have been severely weakened and degraded, and the regime still has its kind of oppressive control apparatus that it imported from China to maintain its power over the Iranian people. But their perception, the Iranian people's perception of their leadership, has significantly changed. And it may take some time for that to manifest itself as they wrap their heads around what's happened over the last 2 weeks. But I think that is very possible going forward. It's just not the stated purpose of the United States.
So give it some time, in other words. So what is the risk, then, of an Iranian reprisal against the U.S., whether through sleeper cell agents or a cyber attack targeting the electrical grid or water supply here?
Again, something to watch very closely. We know that some 1,500 Iranian nationals were part of the apprehended and then released into the United States during the Biden administration, part of that group. So they're here. Some of them got rounded up yesterday and the day before. Most concerningly, an Iranian army sniper down in Alabama, which might seem like a curious place, but bear in mind, around Huntsville, Alabama, are some of our most sensitive nuclear industrial sites. So that's a bad place for somebody like that to be, and something we have to watch. And then the threat of cyber attacks is also something that the Iranians have significant capability in. And I'm hopeful this is a major topic of conversation at the NATO summit this week, because we do have collective cyber defense capabilities with NATO. They're centered in Estonia, of all places, because Estonia was the location of one of the first major cyber attacks from Russia in 2007. So hopefully they're talking about that. They have vulnerabilities to the Iranians, too. And so this is a place where we can actually use NATO capabilities to defend the United States as well as Europe.
Okay, Victoria Coates, a pleasure talking to you. Thank you for sharing your insights. We appreciate it.
Of course. Thank you.
Also on this week's episode of The Global Lane, Alan Dershowitz talks about the international and constitutional legality of the U.S. airstrikes against Iran, and a look at British Parliament's approval of death by suicide and late-term abortion laws. You can watch this all-new episode of The Global Lane this evening on the CBN News channel. It begins at 8 Eastern. You can also see it on the CBN News app, and you can watch on YouTube. Coming up, it has been 3 years since the Supreme Court struck down Roe v. Wade, turning the issue of abortion back over to the states. But with the widespread use of abortion pills, it's also had some unexpected consequences. We're going to explain what's happened when we come back. You are watching CBN NewsWatch.
Introducing a brand new way to start your morning. Get your daily quick start from CBN News. A quick read on the important news of the day delivered right to your inbox. Stay current on breaking news, politics, and entertainment. Discover how God is moving around the world and here at home. Plus, get exclusive stories and daily scripture encouragement just for you. Stay informed. Go to quickstart.news and subscribe today.
This week marks 3 years since the Dobbs decision, when the United States Supreme Court struck down Roe v. Wade, eliminating the nationwide right to an abortion created by the Supreme Court itself in 1973. The Dobbs ruling turned the issue back over to the states. The decision marked an enormous victory for the pro-life movement. But as medical reporter Lori Johnson shows us, the number of abortions taking place in America now is actually higher than pre-Dobbs.
The Dobbs decision gave individual states the right to regulate abortion. Half enacted some type of ban, which at first led to fewer abortions. Now, however, they're on the rise, largely because abortion pills are being mailed pretty much anywhere.
I think some people might have thought that the Dobbs decision was the end of the story, and we wish that were the case. The challenges ahead of us are great, even as we celebrate 3 years of the Dobbs decision.
A new report shows there were about 95,000 abortions a month nationwide last year. That's up from 88,000 a month in 2023. The so-called abortion pill is used about 70% of the time.
Well, one of the deep ironies that has taken place since Dobbs is that medication abortion care is actually more accessible today in many states with bans than it was prior to Dobbs.
These days, abortion pills are mailed from places in states where it's legal, like this one in Massachusetts, to individuals in states like Texas where it isn't. The pill providers feel protected by newly enacted shield laws.
So if a clinician is licensed in Massachusetts, resides in Massachusetts, and practices from Massachusetts, for the purposes of telemedicine medication abortion care, that care is now considered to be taking place in Massachusetts, regardless of where the patient is located.
At least one shield law is already being challenged. Plaintiffs in Texas and Louisiana are suing a doctor in New York, where abortion is legal, for sending the pills to women in their states which have bans.
It's the law of Louisiana. Governor Landry, Attorney General Liz Murrow, and our legislature has seen fit that abortions are illegal in this state.
Currently, 18 states have shield laws.
We go back to what the Dobbs decision permitted, and it was allowing the states to do what they want, allowed the issue to come back to the people. So if the people of Louisiana or people of Texas want to protect unborn lives, they should be permitted to do so in a meaningful way to enforce those laws.
Legal experts predict the legality of shield laws will ultimately be decided by the U.S. Supreme Court. Lori Johnson, CBN News.
Still ahead, a vision from God, along with a few miracles, led to the Unlimited Dreams Learning Center in Laurel, Mississippi. We're going to show you it's bringing amazing results for students who were once failing in public schools. We got the story for you right after this. Welcome back. I want to take you now to the town of Laurel, Mississippi, where dreams are coming true. It all started when Dr. Amanda Cooley discovered young students in her hometown had trouble reading. That led to the birth of a private Christian school with no tuition. Where children once struggled, they're now thriving. CBN's Charlene Aaron has the story.
Unlimited Dreams Christian Learning Center began in the middle of the COVID pandemic. Its mission, transforming the lives of at-risk students to become tomorrow's leaders. For years, Dr. Amanda Cooley operated a daycare and after-school program in Laurel. That changed after a troubling discovery talking with an older sibling of one of the children in her care.
She didn't even know her alphabet.
During a meeting with the girl's mother, Cooley learned she had been promoted to 3rd grade, despite lacking basic reading skills. Cooley, along with her own mother, a retired teacher, worked with the girl to help her learn to read. Then they found out others in the community also struggled. The pair started tutoring students, and in 2020, the pandemic hit.
I had 85 children enrolled at the daycare. No one was there, not one. No one wanted their children affected, and I could not blame them.
Around the same time, God planted an idea within Cooley to start a school. She knew her community's kids couldn't afford to stop learning. Cooley spent a few weeks in deep prayer, after which she felt God give her the green light.
I felt like, how you going to do it? You have 2 new babies. You have this daycare. You have this plethora of bills. You can't do that. But I forgot he owns everything.
Fast forward to August 15, 2020, when nearly 20 years after graduating with a degree in the healthcare field, Cooley officially opened Unlimited Dreams Christian Learning Center. Her mom, Brendalyn Campbell, came out of retirement to join her in the mission.
Because in that first enrollment, it was probably supposed to be 30 or 40. Yeah. We had many more.
Over time, word grew about the tuition-free Christian school. A series of miracles helped Cooley move the school from her small daycare building to this beautiful schoolhouse, enabling her to help better educate 120 students from grades K through 12. Many in this state applaud and support Cooley's efforts, including Laurel's own Ben and Erin Napier, hosts of HGTV's Hometown, who helped renovate the school in an episode of their show.
Well, she's doing the Lord's work. That's what she's doing, and that's what all of these individuals that are working so incredibly hard, because they're giving kids an opportunity for success. They're not just teaching them to read, they're changing their life, and they're changing their life's potential.
Grateful parents who needed a change in their children's lives saw it happen.
I was having problems with public school, counting my babies out. Malachi, from the start, they counted him out.
As her 3 children struggled with learning, public school teachers told Vicranda House they needed special education. Since enrolling at Unlimited Dreams, they're all thriving.
Malachi loves it. He loves it. He loves it because when he came here, he was already a year behind. So the work was a little more calmer for him, the environment, everything. Now, he just sit there, he just do his work, and they have no problem. I'm a straight A student. Dallas, she my AB kid. I can't complain at all. Diamond, straight A's, no problem.
Students also learn about God.
Every day we open with prayer, end with prayer. They do devotion and prayer. My mama does prayer, devotion, and she does Bible drills every day.
God is, he really good. He helped me through all my problems. And now, he got A's and B's.
They have Bible homework when they doing their work. I just love to see them do their work. And that's only because God gave Amanda a vision, and she followed through. So now our kids, the sky's the limit.
Clear proof of that sentiment is 7th grader Alicia Cooley.
When I was in my old school, they put me in special ed, and they gave me a paper with ABCs and stuff on it, and I could do it. So when I came here, Miss Amanda said she gonna help me work on everything I need to work on, and I got myself in a good school.
Bryce Everett has attended here 2 years.
Had a way better learning experience here because like it's more of like a one-on-one teaching. Like I can get the help that I need. Definitely like more quiet. Like we're in a quiet area, so like that helps a lot as well.
He recently participated in the school's first graduating class before heading to junior college to study animation.
I can work for like Disney, maybe even like Hollywood as well.
Dreams coming true because of a holistic approach to learning.
When you have teachers who love from their soul, it's a whole nother difference. And that's what this school brings.
A Love Unlimited Dreams believes students will carry with them beyond their school years.
I hope it means a brighter future. I pray about that all the time.
My faith is strengthened every day, not just by me praying, by seeing them. They increase my faith.
Charlene Aaron, CBN News, Laurel, Mississippi.
We'll be right back with an encouraging word for your day. Stay with us. You're watching CBN NewsWatch.
Download the CBN News app, 24/7 news from a Christian perspective at home or on the road. One place for all of your news. Breaking news alerts. Set daily prayer goals and pray for news stories. Read the most important news and watch CBN News Channel live. CBN News, because truth matters. Go to cbnnewsapp.com to get the app today.
Hi, I'm John Stolnis, host of the CBN News podcast, DC Debrief. Each Friday, get the inside scoop on Washington politics straight from the nation's capital. Because truth matters. Start listening today.
Time now for your Thursday Thankful. I invite you to join me in this prayer of gratitude as we move through this day. God, thank you for strength. It's given to me in your joy, even in the face of trials and trouble. You are my strength, and as the song says, it's a strength like no other. Rest in that truth today and make this entire day a thankful Thursday. That will do it for this edition of CBN NewsWatch. You can always find more of our programs on the CBN News channel. You can find them there at any time as well as online. That address is cbnnews.com. Take a moment and let us know what you think about the stories you've seen here today or any day. You can email us, newswatch@cbn.com. You can also reach out and touch us on Facebook, Instagram, and X, formerly known as Twitter. Again, I encourage you to make this a Thursday Thankful and come on back and join us right back here, same time tomorrow. Goodbye and God bless.